Hi, everybody, and welcome to Ringside Muhammad Ali here on ESPN Classic. I'm Brian Kenny, just blocks away from the Brooklyn Bridge at the site of another historic New York City landmark, Gleason's Gym, home for hundreds of world champions. Over the next 3 hours, we'll roll out vintage Ali bouts from the Classic Library and sprinkle in some hidden gems from the archives. Plus, commentary throughout the broadcast from our distinguished panel. Boxing historian Bert Sugar, Canadian heavyweight George Chuvalo, boxing author and columnist Jerry Eisenberg, and former heavyweight champion and Ali sparring partner Larry Holmes. Here are some of the big fights on tap as Ringside, banned from boxing, picks up Ali's tumultuous career after upsetting Sonny Liston in 1964. This 3-hour anthology will analyze Ali's 12-round battle with our guest analyst, George Chuvalo. Also ahead, see Ali at the peak of his career, annihilating Cleveland Williams at the Astrodome. And in Frankfurt, Germany, when he knocked out southpaw Carl Mildenberger. Then it's his last 2 fights of the 60s, taking on Ernie Terrell and Zora Foley in 1967, before being stripped of his title for refusal on religious grounds to be drafted into the armed services. But first, the infamous Phantom Punch, the controversial 1965 rematch with Liston in Lewiston, Maine. Ringside here on ESPN Classic. We're at Gleason's Gym. Brian Kenny, Burt Randolph, Sugar, and Jerry Eisenberg. We're getting ready now for the rematch between now Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston. First one, they were having it in Boston, right? Jerry, what happened that it didn't happen in Boston?
Sonny got in the best shape of his life ever, and I think he could have won that fight. Ali came up with a hernia in the middle of the night, which was genuine. The fight was canceled and moved, and finally was chased out of Boston. Nobody wanted it, so they wound up in Poland Springs, Maine, a lovely town where the Poland Springs Hotel was the focal point press headquarters. It had presidents' pictures around the wall, stopped at Coolidge, urine-stained carpets. It was a magnificent relic.
and
time stood still, evidently, yeah.
Between Lewiston and Poland Springs, and there were no restaurants, no anything, no accommodations. It was probably the worst experience I've had as covering a fight in my life.
But you know, how did it land there? I mean, were just no other cities wanted to be involved at this point?
Well, in part, but also Sam Silverman had the promotional Sam Silverman was a Boston promoter. And when it was chased out of Boston because of a conflict of interest, Jack Nyland was a promoter, he also was a manager, goodbye, that's against the rules. Sam Silverman puts it in New England. He has to put it in New England because there's a TV closed circuit date.
Okay. And he's got to retain his right to promote.
Okay.
And he sticks it where? Lewiston, Maine, where the sign said, "Welcome and come back," the same sign.
Yeah.
Jerry, talk about what you saw morning of that fight.
Well, Jack Nyland, the manager, and his brother, I guess it was Bob Nyland, I think was his brother, had been fighting all along with Sonny. It was like, you knew this thing was ripping apart. And they're standing in the corner, and Sonny says to him, can I say it? Okay.
No. Yeah.
Sonny says to him, perform an anatomical impossibly act. Okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to see you again. I don't care who you're telling what. You're not selling enough tickets. What are you doing? I got my money. Screw you. I didn't, what did this mean? Nothing at the time. But when Sonny's laying there, and Ali's looking over him like a madman, won't go to the, screaming at him, get up, sucker, they'll think it's fake. And he looks up at him and he realizes this guy's crazy, and the guy could kill him. And then he looks over at Nylon and he says, screw you. And he stays down because he's been paid. The money's in the bank. He doesn't care anymore.
I have a different take on it. He got hit. He's reaching in with his left hand.
Oh, he did get hit.
And his left foot goes up when he gets hit, and you can see him shudder, and he goes down.
Right.
Now, maybe he stayed down, but his answer was, and it was the same as Joe Walcott, the referees, and there's an interesting scenario going on.
Right. We'll talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that he just thought he was going to get hurt if he got up, because there's a crazy man standing over him who might kick him in the head, and Walcott, the referee, thinks the same thing.
He did get hit. I have no doubt about that. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. But he could have gotten up. It wasn't that kind of blow. He could have gotten up, and he laid down there and he looked almost like saying, please, Satanic comes after 9, get me the hell out of here.
And Walcott didn't count at all. He was busy. He's busy with Clay. and then Ali, moving him around, getting him out of here.
We're going to take a look at this fight right now. Only 2,400 plus in Lewiston, Maine, to see the rematch for the heavyweight championship of the world, Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston. Watch closely. It doesn't last long.
As you noted there, wherever you might be watching, they tried staring each other down. They looked hard toward each other. 15 rounds or less. The world heavyweight title, the big fight, the big night. Unusual locale, Lewiston, Maine, round number 1. They score the fight here on a 10-point must scoring system in Maine. 10 for the winner of the round, 9 on down for the loser. If you're going to score with us, well, get your pencil and pad handy. We're waiting for that bell for round 1. Here we go. You'll note that Cassius wants to stay out in the center of the ring where he happens to be the king. Sonny Liston in the dark trunks is chasing that man straight away. Is that a mistake? Beautiful right hand shot that you saw. That was the best punch thus far landed by the champion. We note that early, halfway through this first round, that Sonny is shooting mostly, although he's going to the head now, mostly toward that body. You know the old story, you kill the body and the head might follow. Knockdown, ladies and gentlemen, a right-hand shot. A right-hand shot on the chin. Jersey Joe Walcott. Sonny cannot move. Check the time.
All right, so it's chaos, and for a lot of reasons.
It's more chaos than KO.
With Jersey Joe Walcott, and we'll get to that. But first, as far as a guy who not known for his power, certainly his one-punch power, do you think that punch was legit?
Oh, there's no question in my mind. I watched that tape. There was another tape, that film, that was supposed to be played in the movies. You know, they always used to be in the movies a week later and all that. The fight was so short, they never put it in the movies, to my knowledge. And I saw that tape. And what happened is, if you see the whole round, Liston's coming. He's throwing jabs. They're like 7.5 feet short. But he's missing, and he's missing, and he's missing.
He's reaching.
And well, he can't reach him. He's missing and missing and missing. Finally, he misses like the 90th jab, and Ali's hand is up here. And he's gonna block the punch. So he says, what am I doing? I see there's the guy's head. He came down like that. That's where he invented his karate chop. It was bullshit.
He twisted it, too.
Yeah, he twisted it, he came down, he hurt him. He absolutely hurt him. Did he knock him out? Absolutely not.
Let's take a look at another. I know Jerry is saying that he stayed down and he wanted to stay down, but here's another look at it, and this in color, and we get to look. I know I've seen different versions of it, too, where you can see Liston's neck and his spine just shudder from the impact of that shot. And he was lunging in, and he'd hit him with a right hand earlier in that round that was actually seemed to be a lot harder. But this one puts him down. Now, from this point, this is what stuns me, guys. He goes back down. Now, Jerry, you're thinking his equilibrium is fine at that point?
I think he's looking for Joe Walcott to say 10. He wants to get out of there.
I have a different take, if I may. As much as I delight in Jerry and respect him, I think he was dazed. You can see him dazed here trying to carry on the fight. And also,
Walcott is going where here, Bert? Explain. He's going to Nat Fleischer?
Yeah, no, yes. He's being called over by the publisher of Ring Magazine, Nat Fleischer, who is sitting next to the timekeeper, Francis McDonough, who has told Fleischer he was down for 22 seconds. Fleischer now calls over Walcott, which is why he's out of the frame of the picture. And I think referees had said should be invisible. He's totally invisible. He's out of the picture. Head leaning out. The two are still fighting, but you can see Liston is dazed. Goes over, separates them, and holds up Ali's hand. I mean, it looked like Larry Moe and Curly were running the fight.
One quick addendum to that. 4 years later in a coffee shop at the Thunderbird Hotel, I'm having brunch with Sonny Liston. And I said, well, Sonny, you lost the fight. And he said, yeah, I lost the fight. I must have lost the fight. Nat Fleischer said I lost the fight.
Right. Well, sir, the referee has to either pick up the count, or if he's trying to get his guy to the neutral corner, he's got to just pick up his count or use his own count at that point.
He can also throw him out if he doesn't go to the neutral corner.
Right, that's right.
He's running around. Walcott said he was afraid he'd kick him in the head. He said he's got a crazy man. He didn't pick up the count. He couldn't find the timekeeper. And the anchor punch, which is what Ali called it, which he said step and fetch it taught him, which was really a corkscrew punch. He's lying there, falling down again, but I think he's hurt. I disagree with Jerry on that because he's now fighting again as Walcott goes over, and you can see he's dazed.
Right.
I mean, he's wobbling around on Leon Earl legs.
He was not in a great... To me, this guy could have fought. And I forget how much time was left in the round. I don't remember.
Even the timekeeper said 1 minute. That was another screw up.
Yeah.
It was 1 minute and 52 seconds. Nobody had anything right.
It's stunning just to see how you have an ex-heavyweight champion in there, but what a complete disaster with Joe Walcott with the handling of that.
No wonder only 2,000 some showed up.
That's it. Right, you said what? More media than fans, Jerry said. All right, we'll be back more on the aftermath of Ali Liston from Lewiston. Before we leave, though, another sidebar here. Perhaps the most famous sports photograph ever is Neil Leifer's shot of Ali hovering over Liston. Leifer explains now how he got that most revered image.
One thing that fascinates me about the photograph to this day is I assumed that Muhammad stood with his fist cocked for a second or two, glaring at Liston to get up. When I saw the film in the last 3 or 4 years, for the first time I actually looked at the film of that knockout. It happened so fast, bing, and it was gone. And it just makes me feel so good about having captured that moment. You certainly wouldn't deny the fact that today this is the only picture of Liston Clay 2 that everyone remembers. Sports Illustrated, in fact, put the picture on its cover, but, you know, the day the magazine came out, you know, a couple of people said, nice shot. Nobody was, you know, patting me on the back and telling me I had taken something special that would indeed become an icon. So clearly, it was Ali's rise in prominence and you know, just in stature that caused this picture to become kind of the icon that I think people think it is.
Welcome back to Ringside, banned from boxing, a Muhammad Ali marathon. Now the analysis of the Sonny Liston rematch from the champ himself, straight from the ESPN Classic archives.
I'm a little too fast, Steve, to be hit by fellas.
You seemed very confident at the beginning. Why were you that confident coming out?
I'm confident because Allah's with me and his messenger, Elijah Muhammad.
All right, now, Muhammad, tell me this. What did you really knock him out with the left hook and the right smash?
Well, I would like to see the videotape if you have it.
All right, do we have the videotape? Yes, we do.
Show you more.
All right, we have the videotape, and let's try for viewers all over the world see what we have.
Who they hollering at?
No.
That's right hand.
Right hand. The right hand hurt him.
Right hand. Right hand. Watch it.
What was it?
Watch it. Right hand. Watch it.
Did you think he was getting up?
Oh, I knew he would fall early, but I wanted it to be about 3 or 4 minutes later.
Why are you standing over him,
I'm trying to tell the bum to get up and fight. People
why are you doing that? Tell me why.
Didn't I tell you hold it, don't say nothing. Didn't I tell you my poem? Listen, said, this time I'm a bigger fool. I'm flat on my back instead of the stool. And I'll be damned if it's not right.
So Muhammad Ali would begin his first reign as the heavyweight champion of the world, and a great reign it was even before his banishment, Bert. Much less is known about Sonny Liston from this point forward. I know, Bert, I'm always wondering, why didn't Sonny Liston go back and at least get back to the elite or challenge for the heavyweight championship again? What happened from this point?
Well, Sonny basically was born with 2 strikes against him. We know very little about him when he was born. He was one of 25 children. We do know that he was in prison as a thug and a mug in St. Louis. He started fighting after winning the national AAU heavyweight championship and was mobbed up at that point. Blinky Palermo took him under his wing, one of the Frankie Carbo fighters. He really never had a break. He thought he would, once he beat Floyd Patterson, become popular.
Didn't happen.
Nobody adopted him as their hero. In fact, before the fight, even Jack Kennedy and Roy Wilkins, head of the NAACP, basically said that Floyd should not defend his title against him. So now we've got a man who in society is a loser. He loses to Clay/Ali, first and second fights.
Seems discouraged, greatly discouraged, even after that fight. Even the people that, you know, you can say, well, did he throw that fight? We've talked about that, but he just looked discouraged and broken at that point.
He had several other fights. Leotis Martin basically ends his career. He has one last fight against Chuck Wepner, wins that, and it's really the end of Sonny Liston.
What about the end of his life?
Now he moves to Vegas, and we don't know exactly what he did out there. Some said he was a numbers runner. Some said that he was in drugs. Some said that he was mobbed up. All we know is 2 things. One, at the one of the casinos, he got into an argument with a very big mob boss, Don, a Don of a major family. Slapped him on the back. The Don boss said, "Don't do that, Sonny." Hit him again. He said, "I told you not to do it." He did it a 3rd time. The man turned around and said, "I'm going to have you killed." 3 weeks later, he was dead. Needle marks in his back. And here's a man who hated needles. We don't know how, why, where. Sonny Liston remains a mystery.
A sad ending, and it really started here. Again, he had such high hopes after winning the title, as you mentioned. Didn't happen, and went downhill even after the things that happened in Lewiston, Maine. When we come back, Muhammad Ali will talk about his title reign after a title defense against Floyd Patterson. It was on to Canada. George Chuvalo is up next for Muhammad Ali. When we come back, ringside Muhammad Ali here in Gleason's gym. Ringside here at Gleason's gym, Brian Kenny, Burt Randolph-Sugar, George Chuvalo joins us once again. Muhammad Ali has a 2nd title defense against Floyd Patterson, former heavyweight champion of the world. And then, George, you're next. How did you get this fight?
Well, actually, Ali was supposed to fight Ernie Terrell. And the fight was chased out of the United States, out of New Jersey, because of Ali's views with respect to Vietnam.
I ain't got no quarrel against that
Viet Cong. That's right. So, but there was a strong movement against him by the ex-war veterans, and which literally pushed the fight out of the United States into Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and the fight was scheduled for March 29th, 1966. I was in my manager's office on March the 12th, 66, when we got a call from Mike Mallitz, who was promoting the fight. And I remember I was speaking to Mike, and Mike said to me, "George, you want to fight Muhammad Ali in 17 days?" On March 29th, I said, "Hold on, Mike, I'm just going to phone my wife, Lynn, and see if we're busy that night."
You might have dinner reservations.
Yeah, I might have dinner. I'd go to the theater or something. So I phoned my wife. I was, "Honey, what are we doing on the 29th? She says, "No, I don't know. It's nothing special." "Why?" I said, "Because you're going to the fight." She says, "Who's fighting?" "Me." "Who are you fighting?" "Muhammad Ali." She started laughing. So I said, "Mike, it's okay, Mike. I'm not doing anything that night in particular, so we're free. The fight's on."
And George had been heavyweight champion of Canada since what, 1810?
Since Samuel Champlain, Canada, or Jacques Cabot.
What were your thoughts on Ali at that point? We're talking. This is the prime Muhammad Ali now.
Right.
What were your thoughts on Ali at the time?
Well, first of all, it was a bit of a rush job. It was like I felt like I was getting ready for a date with Raquel Welch in about 5 minutes. I had to get dressed up, showered, drilled, and everything else. Like 17 days isn't a whole lot of time to get ready for a fight.
What type of shape were you in at that point?
I was training. I was in decent shape, but I mean, I wasn't ready for a 15-round fight. I don't think I was.
For the heavyweight
for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Yeah.
I guess a pretty good fighter, you know. I mean, that's 15 rounds. They don't fight. It's not like sissy rounds today. Only 12. It was 15.
Sissy rounds.
So anyway, we had a scuffle against sparring partners from all over, from Miami, from New York, Chicago, from Houston, everywhere, and Detroit. We had a whole bunch of them coming in, but it took a couple of days before they all got there. And anyway, it was a bit of a rush job, but they were there, and I trained real hard and as hard as I could for that short period of time. And I was in decent shape. I could have used a few more weeks, but I was still in decent shape, and it was okay shape-wise, but it's still a bit of a rush job, and I would like to have a little more time to prepare even mentally for the fight. So like, it's not enough time to prepare even mentally for the fight, because you have to prepare yourself for a fight of that stature, and it's nice to have at least a couple of months behind you that you, or at least to look forward to train and get yourself prepared.
It's a short pre-fight, granted, but what was Ali like before that? I mean, I'm sure he'd said plenty of things to you. What was it like?
First of all, he was very.
One of the things he called you, and it occurred to me, he's calling opponents like Liston the Bear. He called the fight before you, he fought Floyd Patterson. He was the rabbit. You were the washerwoman. What was that about?
Well, that's because when I fought Mike DeJohn on September 26, 1963 on national television, the old Friday Night Fights, prior to the fight, he signed a contract to fight the winner of that fight. If DeJohn won, he'd fight DeJohn. If I won, he was supposed to fight me. After the fight, after I knocked out Mike DeJohn twice to win a 10-round split decision, that's another story.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Well, I'll come to that in a second. Anyway,
I lost you.
After the fight, he said, "I'm not fighting Chevalier. He fights rough and tough like a washerwoman." And I didn't know what he meant until 25 years later when I saw the fight on the 16-millimeter reel, and I saw it one time, and I realized what happened. I hit Mike a left hook to the body, a hook to the head. My Mike's about 6'4", 6'5".
Wait a minute. Can I move a little?
Yeah, okay. So I draped him over the ropes, and then I started pummeling him. Bang, 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 bang. Then I realized what it was. He thought I was doing the scrub board, like the washerwoman doing the scrub board. And then Mike slithered down the ropes, and I knocked him out. Angelo Dundee ran into the ring after yelling foul, and the other guys, Joe Nitro, the manager, yelled foul, said because his back was on the ropes. Can you imagine that? Where does it say in the boxing rule book?
So Dundee was in his
can't hit the guy because his back was on the ropes.
Angelo can read him any way he
wants. Anyway, after he went down, they took the round away from me. I remember having my gloves cut off. I said, Teddy, my trainer, cut the gloves off. Cut one glove off, cut the other glove off, cut one bandage off. I was just about to cut the other bandage when the commissioner stepped in. His name was Bob Evans, I think. And he said to me in his southern drawl, he said, "Hey, George, what y'all doing?" I said, "I'm cutting out the gloves. I want to fight fair and square." I said, "I'm not going to fight anymore. Y'all don't fight, y'all don't get paid." I said, "Teddy, put the gloves back on."
and you went out to knock him out.
Yeah.
Again.
I knocked him out twice. Knocked him down twice in the sixth round. He got up at the first knockdown, knocked him down again, and then he went over after the second knockdown, went over and picked him up, dusted off his gloves, and then started to proceed with the counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Give him a standing 8 count. The fight resumed. Mike lasted the fight, but anyway, a tough fight that way. I mean, I didn't think I won every round, but I won a 10-round split decision. The referee voted a draw.
Nickname.
And I won a nickname, the Washwoman.
Let's take a look at this fight right now and watch. And if you see George, fortunate to get into this position, but there he is on short notice. And, Bert, I would just say, George is a man not easily discouraged. He came in like a tank on Ali all night long.
Well, one of his sparring partners once said the only way to stop him is with TNT. And here he is TNTing off.
Your strategy, George, at this point? I mean, he's giving you the body, you're taking the body.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm going to go at the body. Actually, it was kind of funny. You'll notice Ali's wearing trunks with the cup above the trunks.
Yeah.
And I remember
cup was high,
when we get into, at least when the referee gave us instructions, I was looking at the trunks. I think to myself, I feel like Elmer Fudd fighting Bugs Bunny. Remember Bugs Bunny in the cartoon had the ears sticking up above the trunks were up to here? Well, that's what it felt like. So I said to myself, I got to aim not so much here, but around the side. So I raked him around the kidneys. And that's why he went to the hospital after the fight with bleeding kidneys. And by the way, after the fight, I went dancing with my wife. I might have lost the fight, but I always said loser goes to the hospital.
You still kept the date that was on the calendar.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Do you think he was trying? And I wonder, as you're watching him, and you're taking shot after shot, and knowing what we know about the George Foreman fight, do you think that was kind of an early rope-a-dope that he thought maybe you would punch yourself out? It didn't happen, but do you think that's what he was trying?
I think he was trying to psych me out in his own way. I think he was trying to psych me out. Say, no matter what you do, let him fly. I'm going to take him. But he didn't. He only did that once when he kind of held me in close, which kind of negates your power. When you hold the guy in close, you don't get a chance to really have enough room to get enough velocity on the shots. But anyway, he was just trying to psych me out, I think, early. But
yeah, quit flailing around. I'm sitting next to you.
You can hit him during the break.
That's kind of tempting.
We're going to come back.
My trunks up.
This was a rugged 15-round fight. We'll come back. George Chuvalo versus Muhammad Ali right after this.
Here we go with round 7. I imagine a lot of people didn't think Chuvalo would be here for round 7. But he's here and still going strong. Champion appears to be showing a little more dedication to his work just about now. To go in round 7. Chuvalo is marked around the left eye and above it. And the left eye appears to be starting to swell, but nothing serious at this point. The Canadian scoring with a good left hook. We're halfway through round 7. Chuvalo blocked those punches. To go in round 7. Chuvalo missing with a smashing left hook, but he missed it. That left hook connected, but more in slap fashion than any kind of a blow. Left in round 7. Jab connecting solidly by the champion. Ten seconds to go in the round.
Stay tuned for Muhammad Ali versus George Chuvalo. See why the champ called the Canadian the toughest guy he ever fought. You're watching Ringside, banned from boxing, a Muhammad Ali marathon.
Round 11 is coming up. Clay is on his feet. Here comes Chuvalo. Chuvalo is trying to corner him and hammer away at the breadbasket. taken the champion's best shots without giving an inch. The left hook connected, but not as solidly as Chuvalo would have liked. Neither fighter has been knocked down.
Break down, break down, break him on down.
1 minute to go in round 11. Chuvalo blocked it. Seconds left in the round. Stunning left hand by the champion to Chuvalo's face. Seconds left in the round. Rocked it all in that round, Jim?
He didn't rock. He didn't look rocked the way he should have, the way the champ opened up on him, and I think that can be very discouraging. This was a beautiful ending of the round for the champ because he had some good blows in there, some hard blows.
Here's the bell for round 12. The champion appears determined to open it up. Just get in close. He wants him on the ropes, in the corners. The champion is unmarked. Chuvalo has some swelling around the left eye. But nothing to worry about. Halfway through round 12.
Come on now.
1 minute to go. Round 12. right hook landed on the champion's arm.
Baby.
10 seconds to go on the round. Well, Jim, there's the end of round 12, and that's as far as the champion has ever gone before.
Stay tuned for more of Ringside, banned from boxing, a Muhammad Ali marathon. For program information, log on to ESPN.com. Keyword Ringside.